Vinegar has shown to have the potential to be helpful in lowering post-meal blood sugar spikes, but often this helpful information is used inappropriately, including and especially by people with diabetes. So, in this episode of the Habits Doctors Pharmacy podcast, I want to talk about the 3 common mistakes that people with diabetes make when it comes to using this helpful information about vinegar's potential blood sugar lowering properties. Welcome to another episode of the Habits Doctors Pharmacy Podcast. I'm Dr. Chan, your host. I'm a medical doctor from Singapore. My work and my passion is in awakening and activating people to unlock the tremendous power of our lifestyle habits in preventing and combating diabetes, cardiovascular disease, and other lifestyle-related chronic diseases. And today, I want to talk about the 3 mistakes that people with diabetes make when making use of the information that vinegar has potential blood sugar lowering properties. This is a follow-up to a video that I made for my main channel, where I talk about some of the scientific studies regarding this topic about vinegar's blood sugar lowering properties. So if you're interested to watch this video, do go to my main channel. I shall leave the link to this video in the show notes below. So let's go to today's topic, the 3 mistakes that people with diabetes make with regards to vinegar and blood sugar. Mistake number 1 that I want to talk about is this, that many people tend to use this information to take vinegar in the form of pills instead of trying to look at ways to add vinegar into their foods. Why do I call this a mistake? Why do I not recommend people taking vinegar in the form of pills? Without going into the challenges of supplements in general, supplements in pills in general, such as label accuracy, product purity, efficacy, etc. Generally, I do not recommend taking supplements in the form of pills. My objection, why I discourage, why I would not recommend taking vinegar or any other supplements in the form of pills for that matter, why I do not recommend that. It's because I want to move people away from this very unhealthy mindset, this unhealthy behavior of always looking for convenient answers in the form of pills. We are always looking for answers in the form of magic pills. We are always turning good information about food and its potential to help us combat diseases. Turn that useful information into something unhealthy. For example, when we know about the anti-inflammatory properties of curcumin in turmeric, instead of adding turmeric in our foods and our diet, we are always looking to put the turmeric or curcumin into a pill, or the potential anti-cancer properties of broccoli, and we will try to put broccoli, the essence of broccoli, into a pill, or garlic or beetroot. We are so quick to put foods in a pill because we are always looking for convenience. We are always looking for shortcuts. We are quite willing to, in general, use money in exchange for magic pills to solve problems, to solve our health problems, instead of putting in the time and making the effort to change habits, to undo the problems that our unhealthy lifestyle are doing to our health. This is a very wrong understanding of, a very wrong use of this beautiful concept of food as medicine. Food as medicine should not be about replacing the drugs in pills with food in the pills. Food as medicine should be about replacing unhealthy food-related habits with healthier ones. Food as medicine should be about changing, replacing unhealthy food-related habits that were causing health problems in the first place. The very habits with regard to food, every aspect of our habits with regards to food, the when, the what, and how we eat. Food as medicine should be about tackling them, changing them, and improving them. So food as medicine is never about putting food in pills to replace drugs in pills. From my clinical experience, coaching and helping my patients to change their lifestyle, to change their diet, to combat, to control the many conditions that they have, including diabetes. I come across many patients when they find out from friends or when they read on the internet or watch TV programs about the potential of various foods, various food substances in helping their medical condition. Instead of exploring ways to add those foods into their diet, they'll be going to the pharmacy's supplement section to look for those foods and those food compounds in the form of pills. So can I challenge you? Can I encourage you? Or at least can I remind you that in this instance, even as you know about vinegar's potential to help lower blood sugar, don't be so quick to look for supplementing with vinegar in a pill. Instead, you should be looking for ways to incorporate vinegar into your diet. Whether it's at home, look at recipes, look at ways to include vinegar into various recipes, even in recipes, traditional recipes that do not have vinegar. Why not? Experiment, explore, and try. Or when you are eating out, wherever possible, wherever appropriate, try to ask for vinegar to go along with your meals, especially when you are eating a obviously high glycemic index, high carb, very starchy meal, whereby vinegar may help in lowering the post-meal blood sugar spike. Let's not use this knowledge of vinegar's potential to help lower blood sugar into adding into the number of pills that you pop in the morning, supplementing with vinegar in a pill. May I put it to you? That is not a helpful mindset. That is, in fact, a very unhealthy mindset. We should not be looking for shortcuts, convenience, looking for magic pills, magic solutions. It is possible with some time and some effort to change our habits. And whenever we come across useful information such as the vinegar's potential to lower blood sugar, let's just look at ways to incorporate more frequent, more regular use, where appropriate, of course, of this food, in this instance vinegar, in our diet. Let's not turn something so beautiful, so wonderful, this concept of food as medicine, into something unhealthy, popping pills with food. The second mistake that I find people with diabetes often make when they come to know of vinegar's potential to lower blood sugar spikes is that they are not changing aspects of their eating habits that are significantly causing their post-meal blood sugar spike. What do I mean by that? People with diabetes are always looking for food that will help lower blood sugar, whether it's vinegar, bitter gourd. And when they find them, when they come to know of them, whether through the internet, whether through friends, they'll say, let's add them to our diet, instead of identifying aspects of the diet, of their eating habits that are causing unhealthy blood sugar spikes in the first place. For example, excessive sugar intake, excessive processed, refined carbohydrates. So whilst this information of vinegar potentially being helpful in lowering blood sugar can be used to help us blunt the post-meal blood sugar spikes, we still need to deal with all aspects of our dietary habits, the underlying causes of unhealthy blood sugar spikes in the first place, before we look at what to add to our diet, whether it's vinegar, bitter gourd, or other food compounds that are known to have blood sugar lowering properties. Let's look at what we are eating, how we are eating, that are causing unhealthy blood sugar spikes in the first place. Then work at changing them, work at reducing them, work at improving them. So that's the second mistake that people with diabetes make. I often come across patients or people who come to my workshops and training programs. They will ask me, Doctor, what can I eat that will help lower my blood sugar? And I'll often challenge them with my reply by saying, instead of asking for what foods to add to your diet that may be helpful in lowering blood sugar, why don't you start with looking at your existing diet? Look at areas that are unhelpful in post-meal blood sugar spikes and then change them, reduce them, improve them. What I am saying is this. Although vinegar does have some blood sugar lowering properties, even before we jump into looking at how to add vinegar into a diet, let's start with looking at all aspects of a diet that we can change and improve that will help us reduce the unhealthy blood sugar spikes in the first place. Because in the whole scheme of things, even though vinegar reduces blood sugar, when it comes to what we need to do to our diet, when it comes to what a person with diabetes must do with the diet, which is to minimize unhealthy blood sugar spikes after meals, adding vinegar to the diet is at best good to do, a nice to do, definitely not a must do. In fact, for people with diabetes, adding vinegar into the diet should not be a distraction. So for example, if a person with diabetes, after reviewing his or her diet, find that he or she is taking too much sugar or processed refined carbohydrates at most meals, then focus on reducing them before looking for ways to add vinegar in the diet. Don't be distracted. Focus on the must do, which is to holistically improve your diet to minimize blood sugar spike in the first place. Now I come to the third and last mistake that people with diabetes make when they come to know of vinegar's potential to help them lower blood sugar, and that is they neglect the need for holistic dietary changes. That's necessary not just for better blood sugar control, but for optimal overall diabetes management. Achieving good blood sugar control is not the only thing, although that is the most obvious, necessary thing to do for everybody with diabetes. The key, the goal of optimal holistic management of diabetes must be in preventing, delaying, retarding, reducing the many devastating complications of diabetes, such as stroke, blindness, kidney failure, heart attack. So, achieving better blood sugar control through improving and changing one's dietary habits is the first and obvious and necessary thing to do. It is not the only, it must be the first of many things that a person does to his or her diet to help them achieve the best possible outcome, even though they have diabetes. That is to be a diabetes overcomer. That is to prevent, that is to reduce the risk of all the many complications of diabetes. Therefore, it is important for people with diabetes to identify aspects of the diet beyond their impact on their blood sugar, but all aspects of the diet which will also impact the long-term complications of diabetes. Once you identify them, there are areas that need to be changed or improved, then change them, improve them, whether it's about increasing vegetable intake or reducing unhealthy fats intake. People with diabetes must go beyond just controlling their blood sugar through dietary change. So these are the three mistakes that often find people with diabetes make when it comes to the use of this helpful information of vinegar and blood sugar. The potential of vinegar in helping to lower post-meal blood sugar spikes, that many would turn to taking vinegar in the form of pills instead of putting vinegar into their foods, into their diet, and not changing enough, not improving enough all aspects of the eating habits that were causing sugar spikes in the first place. Adding vinegar into one's foods to help achieve better blood sugar is at best a good to have, a nice to have, not a must have. And thirdly, even though the information of vinegar's potential blood sugar lowering properties is helpful, never because of that neglect the need for holistic changes to your diet, to your dietary habits that are necessary for optimal diabetes management. If you're interested in more content related to diabetes, you may want to go to www.diabetesovercomers.com, where I put together all the various contents that I've done over the years related to overcoming diabetes. Or you may want to go to www.habitskickstart.com to help you jumpstart your journey to habits change by doing this short quiz, and which conclude with a 7-day habits change challenge. I shall leave the link in the show notes below. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Habits Doctors Pharmacy Podcast. I'm Dr. Chan, your host. Let habits be thy medicine.